And in 3, 2...
Thank you, Dean. And in a news joke just to hand, Brian Coulson, the North Sydney man who suffered third-degree burns, lost all 4 limbs and complete function of his genitalia in a car accident 4 years ago, was today awarded compensation of $460,000. Half his luck. Could have a bit of fun with that. Right. Every summer for the last 8 years, volunteer Davey Beggles has given up his spare time to join the fight against bushfires. It's extremely dangerous work. What makes you do it, Davey?
Oh, I don't know really. Perhaps it's something to do with community spirit. Perhaps it's the danger sort of attracts me. I don't know really.
The big one up at Lavender Plains last weekend burnt out 200 hectares. It was certainly a dangerous one.
212 hectares, sure, yeah. No, very, very, very dangerous. It's a force of nature, fire, and you've got to respect it, its power and that, yeah.
The experts say that it very nearly got out of control.
Oh, it was angry. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't realise that fire is like a living thing. It's like a wild animal. Yeah, it's just commands you, and you've got to watch out for it. If the rain hadn't come, God knows what you might have accomplished.
Yes, I imagine that rain would have put a smile on a few faces down there.
Yeah.
How would you compare that fire with the one at Brinsdale in 1990? Because I know you were there.
Yeah, well, Brinsdale was a bigger, prouder fire, sure, no question. But, yeah, I was actually checking out some of my old tapes on the weekend to see how Lavender Plains measured up. And I've got to tell you, although she was a smaller fire and didn't last as long, she had a grace about her, you know, a majesty. You know, you come face to face with its beauty, and you fall under her spell. You just get lost there, stand there hypnotised, staring into her soul. Time just stands still there. The cleansing purity of flame. It's no wonder so many people worship it.
Yeah, well, it's good to know that with the countryside tinder dry at the moment, people like Davey Beggles are out there. And I do mean out there. Thank you, Davey Beggles. And Davey, you will stay with us until the police arrive?
I can't. No.
I understand. And just a reminder that tonight's celebrity pet is...
Chappelle Corby's frog.
We wish him the best. Eddie Izzard, Peter Werrett, Ian Colgrave, a guy I went to school with, all like dressing up in women's clothes. But what is it about transvestites that fascinates you? Robin, no offence, but you're a transvestite. Why do you do it?
Well, I started cross-dressing about 5 years ago after my sister died, and now I'm actually quite comfortable dressing up in women's clothes. It's just a hobby, something I enjoy doing, something I pursue given every opportunity.
But not tonight?
What do you mean?
Well, you're not dressed as a woman tonight, are you?
Yes, this is a women's leisure suit.
Well, it's a tracksuit.
It's a leisure suit.
Okay. But what about makeup? You're not wearing any makeup tonight?
I prefer the natural look. I don't think women should pander to a male version of beauty. I think women should just be themselves, and that's what I'm being.
All right. But what about the hair? You've done nothing with your hair, have you?
A lot of women actually favour this type of cut. It's very easy to maintain, especially in the mornings. You don't have to spend hours and hours and hours in the bathroom, which I can't do. I have an irrational fear of tapware.
Okay. What about women's underwear? Are you wearing women's underwear tonight?
That's private.
Fair enough. Charlie McGorran, you're an air traffic comptroller. You've been living with something that's been gnawing away at you for 10 years.
Yes, my wife.
I see. And you have something that you want to tell her, is that right?
Yes, Sean, something I should have told her years ago.
Surely she's suspected by now.
No, she has no idea.
All right. And what is it you want to say to your wife?
Well, I want to tell her that the second longest suspension bridge in America is the Golden Gate Bridge at 1,280 metres.
I see. And what do you think her reaction will be to that?
Befuddlement.
Charlie, you've also been a practising transvestite for some time?
Man and boy these last 10 years, Sean.
Right. And are you intending to tell your wife about your transvestism tonight?
If it comes up.
And what effect do you think that information will have on your marriage?
Oh, it will either be the end of us, have no effect, or bring us closer together.
Right. Well, you've said 3 things there, and you can't use the word either if you give us 3 options, so you're going to have to drop one of them.
Oh, all right, I'll drop the bringing us closer together.
All right, good choice, good choice. We'll see if that's the right one. Bring out Gladys Mildy.
That's not my wife.
Yes, I know, but she's claustrophobic and has been in that cupboard for over an hour. But it was only fair. All right, now, bring out his actual wife.
She's not here.
Well, I thought you said you were going to tell her tonight.
Yes, when I get home after the show, not on national bloody television.
Yes, it's personal, isn't it?
I don't need your help, you sick fuck.
Hey. Charlie. A bit of compassion. It is a mental illness. Now, Jojo the dog-faced boy.
Yes, sure.
Would you like to come back on the show next week when you're actually scheduled to appear?
I'd love to.
Thank you very much. Brian, tell us your story.
Yes, well, I'm a transsexual. I've had my penis and my testicles surgically removed and replaced with a cosmetic vagina. I've had breast implants and I'm on hormones. But I do enjoy dressing as a heterosexual man.
I see. And what sort of problems does this cause you?
Well, I do tend to attract the wrong sort of person. Confused lesbians, disappointed gay men, horrified heterosexual women.
What about your own sexual preferences?
Oh, no, I'm celibate. In any event, I would not consider sex outside the sacrament of marriage.
Thank you, Brian, for sharing that with us. Indeed, thank you to all our guests tonight. If you'd like to take part in an online discussion with any of our guests about the problems facing our much maligned and sadly misunderstood transgender community, log on to www.freakshow.com.au. But right now, this. Okay. Raylene Topping is the first woman to sail around the world non-stop 3 times. Her book, Not a Drop to Drink, has been a bestseller since people started purchasing it in enormous quantities. She's a wonderful woman who has thus far lived a very rich life in her mere 29 years. Raylene Topping. It's just toothpaste. Just toothpaste. Raylene, around the world 3 times in a row, it seems a far cry from the young Lochiel girl who got banned from the Australian rowing team in Barcelona for having sex with her coach.
Yes, I was a bit of a hellraiser back then, but that's all behind me now, though.
Yeah, giving up the drink, have you?
Yeah, haven't touched a drop since I started the world record attempt 4 years ago.
All right. Most of our viewers, I think, would remember you as the bad girl of Australian sport, and not with that affection. Your sex kitten smile and your come and get me, boys, I'll take you all on looks. Made you the pin-up of many a young man in the early 80s. I certainly had you on the back of my bedroom door on more than one occasion. Why do you think this? Why the sudden transformation?
Well, I don't think it was all that sudden, Sean. Our Lord Jesus just had another path for me to follow.
Raylene Topping, many thanks. Inventor Colin Vinger has done it again. 5 years ago, he stopped the Paris Expo with an injunction and by unveiling his ride-on vacuum cleaner. It revolutionised the way we launder our carpets and he became a very rich man when his mother died, leaving him everything. Well, he hasn't been resting on his laurels, or his arse for that matter. This year, Colin's unicycle crevice nozzle is set to wow him again. Colin Vinger! Yes, thank you, Tybalt. Well, they say that philately will get you nowhere. No, I was actually quite happy with that one. But there's one man who'd disagree. He's the world's most argumentative man, Lars Babcock. Fortunately, he's not with us tonight, as our negotiations with him broke down. Another man who would disagree, but for completely different reasons, is philatelist Kenny Stool, who's come all the way from England. Thank you. Possibly should stand. Kenny, welcome to Australia and enjoying yourself?
Yes. Actually, I'm from Australia, Sean. I was just over in the UK for a friend's wedding.
Oh, right. Sorry, I've been misinformed. Now, you've been collecting stamps for 10 years. Take us through your collection here. You brought in 7 of your most favourite stamps.
Yes, I did. This one here, it features an adhesive back and it has a serrated edge.
So its value?
45 cents.
And what makes, Kenny, what makes the stamp so special?
It features an adhesive back.
Yeah.
When placed on an envelope, that will ensure delivery anywhere in Australia.
That's it. And the next stamp there, Kenny, tell us about that one.
Look, that's also from the same series, from the same sheet in fact. It was originally adjoining the first stamp that we saw, and it's also worth 45 cents.
Yes. Are all the stamps in your collection worth 45 cents?
Absolutely all of them.
Right. Why do you collect these stamps, Kenny?
I send a lot of mail. I've got pen pals all around Australia.
Right. And so in what sense do you collect stamps?
In the sense that I collect them from the post office and I take them back to my house.
And then you put them on envelopes?
Exactly, yep.
Okay. What about rare and exotic stamps from around the world, like the 1932 threepenny blue, for example?
The thing with the rare ones is that they're actually quite hard to get. It's a waste of time, really, and they're very, very expensive, so I think it's best left to real stamp enthusiasts, to bother with those.
A philatelist, in fact.
Correctamundo.
Yeah. Yes. Now, your exhibition of over 100 recently purchased 45-cent stamps can be seen...
Yes, it can.
Where can it be seen?
Oh, it's at the Sydney Town Hall from March the 2nd right through to December 24, every day, 6 a.m. through to midnight. And look, we are prepared, if the demand is there, to open from midnight till 6 a.m. Then it's on to the other capital cities, the regional centres, so there's no excuse not to see you there.
What about the inherent tedium of it?
Oh, no, I love touring. That's me.
Okay. Kenny Stool, many thanks.
Pleasure.
So right now, here's something you really like. Excuse me, I wonder who that could be.
Hi, I'm collecting for riding for the disabled. It's tax deductible.
Oh, right. Okay, then. Just hang on a minute. Afraid this is all I got.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. But right now, this.
Okay, here we go. Pick it up. And in 3, 2.
Two shapely, busty young ladies covered in oil, wearing only G-strings, writhing erotically on a shimmering black satin sheet covered in sun-dried tomatoes, while a man dressed as a Nazi stormtrooper looks on contemptuously. Of course, I'm talking about the controversial new billboard ad for Warren's gardening services. Chantal Hasmer is the brains behind the new campaign. Chantal, congratulations on the ad.
Thanks, Sean.
It's certainly generated a lot of publicity.
Which is the idea, after all.
Indeed, but isn't the ad grotesquely sexist? Isn't it demean women?
Look, Sean, I'm a woman.
Yeah. Well, I can vouch for that.
And I don't feel demeaned by it.
Well, it's pretty hard to argue against that, isn't it? OK, so it's not demeaning then. Is it unnecessary? What's the connection between sexy writhing on one hand and garden and maintenance on the other?
I mean, I don't understand why there has to be a connection. I mean, I'm interested in thinking outside the square, Sean.
Right, yeah, I get you. Yeah, because a lot of advertising now is about thinking inside the square, isn't it? And not even at the edges or in the corner. I mean, right in the middle of the square.
Sean,
the square shape.
What are you interested in looking at? Like two attractive girls enjoying themselves or some sweaty guy in overalls pulling up weeds?
The girls, obviously.
I mean, Sean, I mean, these are two healthy, lovely, sexy, strong girls. I mean, what kind of business wouldn't want to align itself with this sort of image?
Sure, true, I accept that. But the Nazi stormtrooper?
Just a bit of fun.
Just a bit of Nazi hortico-erotica, is it?
And that's all it is.
Right. Thank you. Fantastic. Ernie Agate, you work at a service station in Launceston?
Yeah, that's right.
How's business?
Oh, it's been a bit quiet recently, Sean, with, petrol prices going up and that. I think people just made a decision to keep the car in the driveway for a while.
Right. And the flow and effect of that, I suppose you're selling fewer newspapers and ice creams?
Yeah, it's been fairly quiet.
Well, here's hoping it picks up soon. Two wildly different views there, proving again what a broad church the Micallef program is.